it's Megan and I'm here with Solo Buddha Yoga, and so today I'm going to break down a hamstring sequence. Trying to keep it right at about 10 minutes roughly, so 5 minutes on each side. Just kind of quick routine that you can do to open up your hamstrings. So we'll start out in downward facing dog. And downward dog is a perfect place to start with opening the hamstrings. So I'm going to line my feet hip-width distance apart and my hands a little bit wider than my shoulders, pressing down through my fingertips. And I'm going to bend my knees deeply and just start on pressing the thigh bones back. And so if you have tight hamstrings, this is what you're going to do to begin downward facing dog as well. It just allows for a little bit more accessibility for those of us who do have tight hamstrings. Okay, so the knees are bent, press the thighs back. Okay, and then slowly you begin to straighten the legs as you're able, extending down, reaching the heels towards the earth, and also energetically lifting from the heels all the way up into the spine. Okay. From here, you're going to lift the right leg, bend the right knee, and begin to open the dog. So now we have more accessibility through the left hamstring. Again, if hamstrings are tight, you bend the knee slightly as a modification. Extend, and then step right foot forward. We come into a lunge. From here, I walk the fingertips out, and I start to straighten the right leg. Okay, so as the right leg is straightening, I'm pressing down through the big toe mound and drawing the pinky toe towards the outer knee. And in this first pose, I just move a bit organically, just bending and straightening the leg. Again, you can always work with a bent knee. If your hamstrings are tighter, you can also bring your hands to a block for a modification. And then we come back to center. And we're going to straighten the right leg. The back heel is still lifted here. Lengthening, extending, and then bowing. And the whole time I'm energetically dragging the right heel back as I press out through the big toe mound. Inhaling, lengthen, and now I'm going to shorten the stance a bit, coming into Parsvottanasana proper. Okay, again, modification, you can always bring your hands to a block in any of these variations. So the inner thighs are moving back, and I'm drawing energetically from the heel all the way up into the pelvis, into the spine. The belly lifts, we lengthen. Exhaling, bow. Okay, we lengthen on the inhalation, and the next step is to pivot the right toes out. This is going to get more of the outer hamstring to the right, close to the IT band. Lengthening, thighs moving back. Tailbone scooping, exhaling, bow. And again, lengthening. And our next variation is to pivot the left toes out, so we come into a goofy footed variation. Lengthen, and then bow. And lengthening, and bow. Okay, third step, we lengthen out. And then we walk our hands to the right. So here, again, you can have your hands to a block, and your knees can even be slightly bent here if you need to accommodate the tight hamstrings. So it's still accessible. You just make the proper adjustments to modify. Bow. Belly lifting, lengthen. Head and then extending. Come back to center. Okay, and now we're going to step back to down dog. Bend and open. Again, modification, bend your knee. Lengthen, extend, and step forward. Coming into the lunge. Pivot over, walking the hands to the right, and then we start to straighten. Bowing. Again, it's organic movement. straightening the left leg. Okay, Parsvottanasana variation with the heel lifted to begin. Right inner thigh moves back. Draw from your left heel all the way up into your pelvis. Lengthening on the inhalation. Exhaling, bow. Inhaling, we lengthen. Next step is to pivot the left toes out. Actually, next step is to step the right foot in. We lengthen the spine, then folding. For the next lengthening, you're going to pivot left toes out, and your torso is still pointing directly forward. The only adjustment is the foundation. Continue to press down through the big toe mound and draw energy from the pinky toe towards the outer hip. Lengthening, and then we pivot right toes out, coming into a goofy stance. The whole time I'm engaging the legs, hugging the muscle to the bone, pressing back, getting the top of the sacrum to move up and in, extending from the crown of the head. And then we lengthen. Again, we can have hands to a block in this as well. Slight bend to the knees in order to accommodate. And then back. Walk back to center. This time I'm going to step the right foot forward, moving into Uttanasana. So in this pose, definitely you can keep the knees bent. Have your hands lifted to a block. You can keep your hands to the tops of your thighs, just pressing the thigh bones back and wide. Touching down to the earth if it's available. So we continue activating the legs, energetically widening the heels apart, firming the shins in. Then you press the thigh bones back and wide. Top of the sacrum moves up and in, lengthening on the inhalation. Exhaling, bow. Breathing down, inhale, rise. Come all the way up. And then exhaling, hands to heart. Okay, so that's just a few minute routine. And again, there's so many out there. That's just one little hamstring stretch that you can do. And it's an intense one, but all you have to do is modify with the block and bend your knees accordingly. So that would be the modification if your hamstrings are really tight. And we'll just continue to break down sequence by sequence what we can do to bring the body into more optimal alignment. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to the channel so you can get these videos and these updates regularly. Have a good day.